Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I have a special guest, SteveR's here to come hang out and just have a chat about all things Splinterlands. But you know what we should do, Steve? We should open my daily or my quest rewards, my season rewards, because I've got a bunch of them, and we can just spend a couple minutes looking at those and see if there's anything cool. If we get some Chaos Legion packs, we can throw them open, and then maybe we can finish with Waka because we heard about Waka today, and they released the how much it's going to cost, how many copies, and all the details for people's they're gonna want to know. Okay, let's get this one first. This is my main account. I made it up to champion this season, so I got 80 reward chests, and then I just gave up because I didn't want to lose my champ record.
You know, I made it to champion too, and I actually played today, and I did something super risky and did my quest when I was only 1 point into champion.
Ooh.
But I actually got about halfway to champ 2. I actually got 3/4 of the way, and then I gave up because I got pushed back down.
I made it into champion 3 with a little margin, like I had 60 points or something. Oh, I got one pack with about 60 point margin, and I thought to myself, okay, I can 2 packs. I said to myself, I can try and fight and see if I can go on a little streak. Nice, 3 packs. And I thought if I can, wow, 4 packs. I thought if I could fight, you know, using that margin, I didn't want to risk getting knocked out. But if I had a little bit of margin to wiggle with, like I used to play poker. I don't know if you're gambled, but I used to play poker for money. And, you know, I come in with X amount of dollars. And if I go up quick in the beginning of the beginning of my efforts, then maybe I'll be a little bit more loose with my money, but only up until a threshold. And that's how I felt about my rank points this season, where I didn't want to. And then I got down to where was I? So I was in champion, and I came down to I lost my first match, and I went down to 30. Here it is. I lost my first match, and I went to 37-17. And I thought, nope, if I lose one more, so I just sat there.
Yeah, I had a similar story. I made it to 37-40, played a match, and lost to 37-01 yesterday.
Ooh.
But then this morning I logged in and I'm like, you know what? I want to see, because I felt like this, I don't know why, this season I felt a little bit like it was a little bit less competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I made it up quicker. There were like maybe a new group of players who were competing in these leagues that didn't have the best cards, but were still grinding their way into them.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a winning streak. Like I won my first 5 matches.
Nice.
And I was like, sweet. And then I won a couple more and I got some big bonuses. So I was like, because the one thing about playing on the last day, I was that evil guy, just barely in champion, playing the guys at 4,000 and taking a bunch of points away.
Yeah.
From them.
That's brutal when you lose, and then you lose 20, 30. I think 30 is probably the most I can remember losing, but even losing 20 rank points for one loss is so annoying when every rank point matters, you know?
Yeah, when you're trying to grind and you're only getting like 10 per victory, and all of a sudden you lose 25 or 30 on a loss, you're just like, oh, I gotta win like 3 or 4 more now.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I think they said they're gonna revamp. They understand that nobody's making it to champion 1 anymore. And so this double points once you get into champion to move up, they said they might remove that. Oh, there's your first legendary.
Nice.
Turn gold.
Oceanus, love them too.
Oceanus is a great card though.
Yeah.
If there's one legendary that definitely is like, people probably think he's still expensive, and I go, no, he's cheap.
Yeah.
Because he is just a beast at max level when he gets phased, and he can just be like an unhittable tank. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. So powerful. So powerful. I've been buying copies and copies and copies. I think and I'm going to keep doing it, like as long as it stays there. And I think I do believe that my advice is falling on deaf ears. Like I've been buying, look at this. I was even buying gold foil copies of them. They were 100 to 110 bucks when I bought them. I don't know what they're at now, but you know, it's such a powerful card. And I've just got like a wall of Oceanuses here. These are, look at that.
Very smart move.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I haven't really started deploying outside capital into the game yet, but I probably will. And then I probably will right about now. You know, this you're reminding me. It's like, yeah, you know, I have some farms that are doing okay on the outside. I should probably bring some of that money back into here and buy up some of these legendary cards that are so cheap.
Yeah. I think this might be my last one. 40 loot chests.
Because
nice.
even the untamed legendaries are really, really cheap right now. I mean, not untamed, Chaos Legion.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And Chaos Legion legendaries and epics. I'm like, I can't believe people are selling these cards so cheaply.
Yeah, I've been buying gold foil epics from the Chaos Legion. I've been buying, that's 5 packs. I've been buying Hark Law, Jin Bilka, and that the Dragon Archery one. I forget his name. Some of those are reward cards, but still, those are so affordable. Anything under $6 on the legendary side is to me absolutely nonsense, and I can't stand for it. I will buy them up. The other day I came in and I spent $400 on Harklaw, Bilka, and I think Oceanus, or it might have been Zyvax. And I'm constantly doing it because I think Harklaw gets, whenever I look at peak monsters and I arrange by whatever filter I'm choosing, this time it's legendaries. I look at the cheapest cards and I say, what, Harklaw is a legendary tank with, shield and immunity and demoralize. It might not be as good as maybe the Lord of the Darkness or something like this, but it's an excellent tank. And Jin Bilka, especially now with Obsidian, I can't believe this card is so affordable. When you combine that with Obsidian, it's a absolute beast.
Yeah, and Harkla, I think, is one of the only shielded tanks for death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That actually has the shield ability. Certainly, like a big beefy one. I know they have the little skeleton, but he's a 2-cost monster.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. I have a decent amount of him, but at 358, it might be time to get more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, sometimes I don't feel strongly about cards like Ease of the Fanged. I have about 30 or 40 copies, but that's because I have so many airdrops from the Ease of the Fang. But if a card can be either an amazing, like a tank, which I consider tanks, I consider summoners the most important, then tanks second most important. Third, I consider carry cards like Oceanus, which you might even call a tank. So then maybe Oceanus is perhaps a little bit even more upgraded in my mind because it's perhaps both a tank and a carry. And so cards, and then I think about like support or DPS, which to me usually means they add some sort of utility. Maybe they do a good amount of deep damage, but they're usually quite vulnerable because of their hit points. I think Jin Bilka is a better, like one of the best for that, especially at the higher levels because of the camouflage. So he can just sit in the back there and just drop 4 magic bombs at the highest level with Obsidian's help, right? So those cards I'm super interested in. Cards like Iza, even if this was the cheapest card, I probably wouldn't be buying it up because I just feel archery to me is it's nice to have, but it's not something that's pivotal for my success, especially with a sneak attack. This is one card I really just feel I don't love it.
Yeah, that card's interesting. She's definitely an example of a card. I don't agree with you as much on archery being bad, just because there's multiple cards that buff archery, and when you have them, they get really ridiculous, and they tend to be faster than a lot of the mages. Not
That's true.
Oceanus, but the other mages in the game tend to be a little bit slower. And so, but her problem is she sneaks. And you don't see an obvious combo in the Earth team for like a sneak team right now. There's like only a couple other cards that even sneak, and none of them hit very hard. So it's kind of a weird team.
Yeah.
And they're not consistent because there's like the 4-cost guy that sneaks. They have opportunity people, but opportunity and sneak don't necessarily work together. They have the goblin and the 2 goblins, so the mage and the thief, right? And I think that's it for sneak. So when you end up using sneak and you have to use an archer, a mage, and a melee guy, you can't like, what summoner do you use? Who do I buff? or do I debuff, or what do I do? Because she's not great. I think her 1 saving grace 4-cost legendary cards are a little interesting for the little league matches. But that doesn't happen enough for you to really invest a lot of money into that card. I know I'm not buying her. I got enough in my airdrop to max her out, so I have a maxed out one, but I'm just same thing. It's like I don't use her very often. If she was opportunity, she would have been amazing. Because then she would have comboed with the new 3-cost opportunity and the vulture to give them 3 really good opportunity monsters, but they gave her sneak instead.
I think
So
the stun makes her interesting because but that's gold level or higher. Not every player plays
yeah,
that high. But stun is so powerful because a 50% chance to take away one of your turns is really powerful. And then, even if she's not killing that monster that she's hitting, she might be neutralizing a very significant support or DPS character that's in the back lines. And so that's interesting, but I still she is not. I have a full copy, but she's by no means in my regular circulation. I'm doing Obsidian these days, and when I do that, obviously I'm looking for my magic monsters as opposed to. But if there was an archery, if there was a summoner coming up with a green splinter that was archery focused, maybe that would change my mind. But we'll see.
yeah, we'll see if they get one. I don't know if they're going to do that because Prince had it in beta. So are they going to immediately in the next set give like the teams the ability that they're losing from the old set? That might seem. I don't think people would like that. I think the beta legendary summoners would be really mad if like the new legendary airdrops are,
Yeah,
almost the same as those cards.
yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah,
So I don't see them getting a +1 range, but I could be wrong.
let's
Oh, you
hope.
had another one, huh?
Yeah, I just remembered the last one. This is my guild account. Oh, nice, nice.
Another Shawnies. If you're gonna flip only 2 legendaries with all those flips, at least they were both him.
Yeah.
So that's a good pull.
So I'm gonna open up 5 packs, and then let's talk about some, or maybe while I'm queuing it up, even we could talk about Waka. What do you think about Waka?
I think he's ridiculous because poison is super strong, especially poison that you would be able to put on snipers or and there's a few poison sneak monsters, but there's like no poison snipers really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because cleanse is kind of like tank kill, and you can only cleanse the front row.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the idea that you could start dropping poisons all over the place is pretty ridiculous, and he's only 3 cost to give an ability to all of your monsters. So I actually like that card a lot. I do plan on picking one up, but I'm lucky in the fact that I have a collection big enough to get enough SPS and get enough vouchers to where it won't cost me anything if I can actually get it.
Mm.
It'll just use those resources up, so there's an opportunity cost, obviously, to that.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be really strong. I think that he'll be right up there with like some of the best 3 cost summoners in the game.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I've said this in a video. I've written it before. I've talked to people about it in Discord. One of my thoughts on Waka is that, well, I'm sure people know who Waka is, but maybe just to be 100% clear, Waka is the new. Hang on, where is he? I'll clip this little dead part here, just in case somebody is like new to the channel. Okay, here it is. So, like I say, just for all the people that perhaps are new to the channel or maybe new to Splinterlands and are watching this video for the first time, Waka is a new legendary summoner. He's going to be dropping poison. He actually adds poison to your monsters, all of your monsters, and what that does is every monster will have a 50% chance to poison the enemy that they hit. And to Steve's point, there are multiple ways to attack in the game, and you can have like a frontal assault where you're with like a melee or an archery or a magic, and you can have snipe, you can have an opportunity, you can have sneak, and those are potentially 4 different ways you could deploy magic on your enemy's team, or poison. And so, I think if you're doing that wisely, you can't heal these guys like he said. You can, but you can't. What's it called? It's called
Cleanse.
You can't cleanse the poison off the back line. So yeah, that's I agree. It's going to be very powerful. One thing I haven't said, I don't think in a video yet, is about the cost analysis for him. I really think if you're looking at summoners, it's worth comparing it to the old beta
And the dice.
Delaney, is it? Do you think it's comparable to the dice?
Yeah, because if you look at the dice, they're 3s.
Yeah.
And
What I was thinking though, hear me out, is that Selenia Sky has using Splinter Card's information, you can see Sky, Selenia Sky. So you can see how many copies there are. There are 5,500 copies of Selenia Sky, and if you do the math, that would be roughly half as many, half as many of Waka, because Waka, there's 1,000 copies. 960 of them are going to be regular foil, which 960 times 11 BCX is roughly 10,000 ish, and then 40 copies times 4. So it's a little over 10,000, maybe 11,000 BCX for Waka, and here we have 5,500 BCX for Selenia Sky, and that means that this price is probably twice as expensive, and it's a plus. It's it's like one ability monster summoner as opposed to some of the other legendaries that are multiple abilities, and I would say poison is probably as painful or as meaningful as like one archery. One archery is a good ability. Maybe poison is even more beneficial. And so in my mind, this is an interesting starting point for the conversation around value. And when you look at the gold foil versions, there's only one copy for $5,000. You would need 4 copies. Somehow you would need to find 3 other copies at $5,000. That would make this a $20,000 card, assuming that there was even supply for that, and there isn't. So I really feel that a gold foil Waka is worth at least $10,000. And I want to look at the dice, because your point is true too. Like what's the dice showing?
Yeah, the other thing to remember with Waka is that he's giving Death something they've never had before, and that's an offensive ability.
Mm-hmm.
So the Death team has never had a summoner that gives them offensive abilities. They just give debuffs.
Mm.
So every other and that means Death. Every single game you use Death, you have a chance of part of your summoner's ability to be useless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you use Ulrich and they don't run magic, you're not bouncing any back. If you use Mimosa and they're not using archers, you don't weaken them.
Mm-hmm.
If you do Thaddeus and they're not using mages, you don't weaken them.
Yeah.
If you're using Zintar and they don't use melee monsters in multiple positions, you're only weakening the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time the Death team will have a summoner on their team that can give all of their monsters an offensive ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And the we didn't mention that people probably know, but they've now decided that they're gonna, on February 24th is when the sale is gonna take place. There's 480 regular foils that are gonna be sold and 20 gold foils that are gonna be sold, and the price will be 5,000 SPS and 500 vouchers. 500 vouchers is at least 1,000 US, and 5,000 SPS is something like $700. So you're talking like $1,700. And if you were to look at the dice summoners, I just did the math on Ouster gold foil. You're talking about 17. You need 22 copies of Ouster, and $80 per pop. And as you can see, they go up. Actually, it's $100, $200. But so I don't really feel there's one comparable summoner out there for a lot of reasons. But I think it's worth noting that the old beta, which is only twice as common and which is offering one ability, and then maybe having this in the back of your mind too, as maybe like this is only a rare, which I don't really think is equivalent in some sense. Plus, I wouldn't argue that maybe it's as powerful as say Thorns.
Yeah, I'd say similar to Mylar when it comes to power.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to compare value, I think you're absolutely right. None of these cards are going to match it in value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of part of Waka we haven't talked about yet. It is not just being sold as a Splinterlands card. It's also being sold as a NFT, like to flex on people.
Yeah.
Because that's what people do in the PFP world of NFTs. Look at me and my Bored Ape. I wear Bored Ape clothing because I got a Bored Ape. And so it's a similar idea. If you have a Waka, you'll get a companion, I believe, NFT of some sort, or ability of displaying it. I haven't exactly figured out.
They're going to give you these. They're going to give you these skins that you can use as filters on your Snapchat, and there's other components that I haven't fully explored either, because that stuff just doesn't interest me. But some people are interested in that, and other people are collectors who are just excited about a new promo card that is exclusive and rare. There's only 1,000 copies. There's at least 100,000 people who are, I think, in my estimation, there's at least 100,000 human beings that are financially pouring money into this game. And I think that's super conservative. I think it's probably 200,000. So I feel 1,000 copies of this guy are going to sell out really easily. And I would love to get 2 copies, even though the cost is $1,700. And the way it's working is that when you buy a copy, you actually don't know if you're getting a gold or a regular foil. You're just going to open it and it's going to turn out to be one or the other. And so I think if you buy a $1,700 Waka and it ends up being gold foil, you're going to be laughing. I think it's worth, probably $10,000. I think $5,000 easily on Peak Monsters later the same day, and maybe even $10,000 would be my guess. That range. And I would say regular foil is probably going to sell for around $2,000 to $3,000. But I could see it going lower. But I think I just kind of, I'm going to guess 2 to 3 because Ouster, not Ouster, the one I was talking about, Selenius Sky, is on the regular foil. There's only 2 copies of it, but it's selling for look at that, $2,500, $2,600, $2,800. I think that's kind of again, I think there's some comparability there. And remember, I said that there's twice as many Wakas as Selenius, so you would cut this price in half based on the way I'm thinking about it. So $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for one regular foil Waka. That's kind of how I'm imagining it. And I could also seeing it be, more, but we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being more because if you're basing that on like how many will be in the game, how many of them are going to be owned by people who buy them on wax and never even put them in the game?
Yeah.
They just bought it to have it.
That's true.
To get the other side of it, and it doesn't. It might only be 20 or 30, but that still takes 20 or 30 out of circulation.
Yeah.
And if they are those kind of wealthy, I want to have the best one. They're gonna take 20 or 30 golds out of circulation, probably.
Yeah. That's a good point too. Oh man, lots to be excited about. I think modern format, the league division, land, all the promotional cards that I'm expecting this year, because they've implied that this is not the last one. And I think what that's going to do for vouchers is going to be, we've got an exciting 2022 ahead of us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when's your card coming out?
Yeah, I know, right? That'd be really cool. I would love to one day. Maybe one day when I'm a super mega whale.
Yeah, we got to get you up there to the millions of followers.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Waka. But it is an exciting thing. Well, that's one of the things on the back burner lots of people might not realize. But the idea that they were able to work out a deal with a really influential person in his space, even though I've heard some people say, oh, he's not as big as people say. But still, the fact that they're trying to do that they're trying to reach out to people that have the ability to reach out to millions of players. So even if you get even if you get 5% of those people to actually join this ecosystem and realize they're into this kind of stuff, it could lead to a growth from areas where we wouldn't normally see it. We wouldn't normally pull in any of his fans into our game. No,
not but for something like this. So I agree. And frankly, you would every company that's growing is going to make some efforts in this way, whether this ends up being a home run or whether it's a more modest success. I think it's at least helping us create utility and show the player base, the existing player base, that there is utility and future opportunity around vouchers. And I think you're seeing in the voucher price spiking that people are a little bit FOMOing on Waka. And I think that might be just a good lesson, just regardless of what else comes out of this, because people keep sleeping on, like I said earlier with the laser beam, we're chasing this and that, and we're letting certain things like vouchers, they were down to $1 or so, and that's nonsense. This is, they've said time and time again, an SPS at 12 cents or 11 cents or whatever it was recently, all of this stuff, there's these amazing assets, and they keep telling us this is going to be meaningful, it's going to be super important to you, you're going to want a certain amount of this. And we just sleep on it until the moment comes where they're like, oh, by the way, new amazing legendary card. And
the cool thing about that too is, like, anytime you're thinking too many are getting on the marketplace, if they release specials like this, it's 500 vouchers for this one. What if it's 1,000 for the next one?
Yeah.
Or so the supply, when it starts to seem like there's too many, something will come out, something will use it up. I know I don't sell vouchers. I did a tiny bit during the I didn't really sell them though. I traded them. I tried to trade them during the pre-sale, and I did okay actually, and got myself some extra vouchers. But it's like I don't see a good reason to start selling those until you're ready maybe to be someone taking money out of the game. Because for now, if you still want to build your account, if you still want to have stuff, if you want access to the most rare things, the most special things they do, they're going to involve vouchers. And if you don't have those things, you're gonna wish you did. Like when Waka's beating you, you're gonna be, if you're someone who could have had one but has been selling your SPS and vouchers, you're gonna be like, wow, that was a bummer.
Yeah, totally. And I think if people are wondering, at any point in the future with the next promotion or whatever, how many do I need? What's a good amount to have? One thing, first of all, you got to ask if you believe in the future of the game. You don't want to be investing assets here if you don't. Clearly we do. If you find entertainment in it, clearly we do. That's the foundation. But then if you're there with us, you can come over to Peak Monsters and use the Explore top holders, and then you can see data on how many vouchers are being held by individual accounts, how many SPS are being held by individual accounts, and it'll give you your ranking. And I think that's an indication. Like when I saw that Waka was going to have 1,000 copies, and I came in and I saw that I'm number 1,000 for total SPS, or 257 for vouchers. I felt satisfied that I was going to have adequate supply to get one of these cards. But that's a good litmus test. It's not a precise measure or anything, but when the next one gets leaked, when they come into it, it'll be another AMA, and they'll say, and we got this new announcement. We're going to create this new card, and it's coming out soon. And you'll wonder when is soon, and you'll wonder how much does it cost. They won't tell you any of that. You can come in here and you can say to yourself, well, I'm in. They told us, maybe they tell us there's going to be 1,000 copies of it, but they don't tell us the price. This actually helped me have a sense of how many vouchers it was going to say. I predicted it would be between 200 for a regular foil and 500 for a gold foil, because I thought you would be able to decide, I want to buy a regular or a gold. And then they came out and they said 500. So I feel like that's an interesting little tidbit that maybe people won't know, but should.
Yeah. What do you think about the date it sells? Do you think you'll have a minute, an hour, or 0 seconds to buy one of those first 500 they release in game?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. I'd be really, really surprised if it isn't sold out like that. Like, I mean, instant. I'm going to be there. I'll set alarms. I'll be at my computer. I'll get my wife to set up my next computer, because I got to make it happen. But, I just, 500? Are you kidding me? Like, how could it not sell out instantly? We sold 1 million Chaos Legion packs for $24 a pack during the pre-sale.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I really want one of these, but I'm worried I'm not going to click fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay, well, we should wrap up there, pal. But is there anything that you want to tell them about the channel? Give them the channel name. How often are you making content? Any other, I guess, closing remarks?
Yeah, sure. So thanks for having me, Dwayne. It was a lot of fun. Again, I'm SteveR82. You can find me on YouTube under that, or on Hive under that. I also have invites on my videos to my Telegram group. I make content every single week. I do 1,000 DEC giveaway every single week on the main account. I give away epic cards currently on my 2 alt accounts on Hive. So if you're somebody who's looking for a couple of easy ways to add a little bit more DEC or cards to your account, you can check those things out. And in general, I'm just glad to be able to come out and be on Dwayne's show, to be on Luke's show occasionally, and really start to grow the Splinterlands community when it comes to the people who are out here on YouTube and Twitch and who are streaming, because I appreciate all of them and the way they've been helping grow the game and just spread the word, and it's been a lot of fun.
I definitely agree, and thank you very much for coming over and hanging out, and hopefully it's not the last time, and I can come over and see you and be on your channel too sometime. But thank you very much for all your time and for the amazing conversation. Hey guys, appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And if this is your first time to the channel and you haven't already, consider liking and subscribing, and be sure to check out Steve's channel also. Hey guys, bye for now.